Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we are talking about what is open source and how you can get started. And I have a really exciting announcement to make that the open source guidance playlist is here that you all were asking for quite a lot. And in this particular playlist we'll be adding some tips and some resources, some mentorship programs about like open source that you can apply to, and some other videos about questions that people ask quite a lot of times. Now, as a student, I always say that, even if you are a beginner, contributing to large scale open source projects can really help you. And we will talk more about that later in this video. But speaking of amazing open source projects that, you can get started with contributing to, I want to give a really huge shout out to Teleport for sponsoring this video. And please check out the links in the description in order to get started. Let's take a look at what Teleport has to offer and how you can get started with it. It's a really amazing open source project. Are you juggling with shared secrets, SSH keys, or hopping between VPNs and multiple access points? Check out Teleport to quickly access your computing resources from anywhere. Teleport allows engineers and security professionals to unify access for SSH servers, Kubernetes clusters, web applications, and databases across all environments. With a unified resource catalog, there is no need to maintain inventories. You can also work together to troubleshoot a problem with your colleagues on a remote server or on each other's laptops and record these sessions as well using shared sessions. Teleport also provides ready-to-use auth for your internal web applications. Easily implement security and compliance with Teleport to adopt industry best practices for access across all protocols and all environments with minimal configuration. How does it work? Teleport is a single binary which enables secure access to SSH nodes, Kubernetes clusters, web apps, and databases. Deployed as a single binary, it seamlessly integrates with the rest of your stack. Get started with Teleport now and try it for free. Check out the links in the description below for more information. Once again, if you want to get started with Teleport, it's very easy to set up. We'll be doing some hands-on workshops on it as well. Please check out the links in the description, and there's like a link that you can click and you can download it for free. You can try it for free. No credit card is required, and it's also open source, so you can contribute to it as well. I also want to share quickly that we have a complete 0 to FAANGM data structures and algorithms plus interview preparation plus competitive coding bootcamp, which is like for free. The link is in the description. It is for free and it is one of the best DSA courses in the world. That is how confident I am about it, and not my words. It's like people who are saying this. It's free. You got nothing to lose. Check it out in the description below and you are going to love it. It is like the entire syllabus. It will definitely make you interview ready. It's complete data structure algorithm syllabus with, literally everything that you will not find anywhere on YouTube. And even it is better than most paid courses. So please check it out once. You will not regret it. It's amazing. And it's definitely no programming language knowledge is required. We cover everything from scratch in a very detailed manner. Please check out the links in the description below. Now, what is open source? From a beginner's point of view, we have been using open source project ever since, we were kids. So for example, VLC, I was using VLC when I was a kid. Like Google Chrome built on like Chromium, for example, the web browser, Firefox. And then we have so many other things like GIMP. Okay, we have like the programming languages that we're using. So open source is everywhere. And what do we mean by open source if you're a beginner? So basically, projects that are like, readily available, like, free to use, for example, and it all depends on like the licenses, which we'll talk more about in future videos, like open source licenses. But in general, like free to use, free to access, to modify. It's an inclusive community and you get to collaborate with people around the world, so on and so forth. So for example, Android is an open source operating system, but it's being used by so many other companies. Linux is an open source kernel, and we see so many servers that run Linux. So basically the idea is that you get to modify the code base, you get to work on the code base, and these are like some really big projects in which anyone can contribute, which is what I meant by inclusivity. So you can find an open source project according to your tech stack, which we will see in this video only, how to find open source projects. That is the theme of this video. But before that, let's talk a little bit more about why contributing is important as a student, or like even as a working professional if you want to gain some new skills. So the first thing why contributing is important to such large scale projects in which anyone can contribute to, and these projects are like really like looking for contributors, and open to all. You can, it's free to access, to modify, to use, for example, again depending on the licenses, but overall that's the case in general. So to answer the question like why contributing is important, because as a student, you're building a resume and stuff, and first year, second year, you might not get many internships or job opportunities as such. So open source is a great way to get real world software development experience from the comfort of your home, especially from if you have a college that does not provide you much opportunities. Open source can really help you with that. It will enhance your resume very much. You'll get to put some projects on your resume, some really big projects that you contributed to. You get the satisfaction, like the code that you're writing is being used by people around the world. You get networking, you make connections from around the world, and you can definitely get a job and internships or whatever via your open source career as well. That is totally fine, because if you're getting an internship, a role, or a job opportunities via your open source contribution, that's even much more reason to contribute to open source. And that is something that definitely happens. It has happened with me as well. So you get to test your skills as well. So for example, if you've been learning web development for the past 3 months, and you're like, am I really good at web development? So in that case, you can just pick up a web development project, start contributing to it. You'll actually be applying your knowledge. So we have a guidance playlist as well. In that, I'll be making videos on like tutorial hell and how you can, make the most out of your learning part and all these other things, college roadmaps. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out the links in the description below. We're not charging anyone anything. Everything is free, education free. And this is the only way you can support us, because we are not asking any money from you. So subscribe, check out the links in the description, and get started and just follow the guidance and roadmap videos. Cool. So many benefits, and me sharing my personal experience. Open source had opened a lot of doors of opportunities for me. So I got so many nice opportunities, internships, mentorship programs, which we'll talk more about in a separate video, like so many internship and mentorship programs of open source that you can apply to. And basically like got to meet people around the world. Another perks include like you get to travel the world whenever that happens after COVID. I mean, before COVID, got some nice opportunities to travel around the world for events. And I'm speaking at KubeCon LA as well, and Open Source Summit Seattle. Looking forward to that. So you get to meet people from around the world. You get to test your skills. You get to contribute to such large scale projects. As a student, this will really shine on your resume. If you are like, for example, if you don't want to get a really high paying job with just DSA and competitive coding, open source is a really great way to get a role via your connections, via the good work that you do in public. We'll have a separate session on learning in public. Again, in this video, I'm going to mention a lot of little topics. Then we'll dive into every single little topic in detail in this guidance playlist as well in the coming near future. That was like a brief about it, and make like a separate video on how you can actually get opportunities via open source. But let's now focus on, what is open source, why contributing is important, and satisfaction level that you get, and your code is being used by people around the world. Now let's look into how we can actually find open source projects. What is like the roadmap for open source projects? This is like the website, but before we get started, like the prerequisites many people ask. So as I mentioned when I was mentioning about Teleport and other open source projects, so you don't have to be an expert. The prerequisites are Git, programming language of your choice, and a tech stack of your choice. This can be the web development, mobile, blockchain, machine learning, deep learning, cloud, DevOps, Kubernetes, whatever you like, mobile development, iOS, etc, etc. So even if you know basic to medium knowledge of your tech stack, you can definitely contribute. Just learn on the go, and we'll look into in this video how we can actually get started with a big project. So I don't think I missed out on anything. If I did, there's definitely a video coming on that, like a separate video on separate topic. The next thing is related to, so we talked about prerequisites and stuff. You can also do non-code contributions on this channel itself, on my channel, Kunal Kushwaha. There's a playlist called Open Source Cafe. There we did a session with Savita and Divya on non-code contributions to Kubernetes. Make sure you check it out. It's pretty amazing how you, without any coding, you can contribute to such big projects like Kubernetes. And once again, please check out the links in the description below. One more thing I want to share was, now, in order to contribute to open source project, you need a project, you need an organization. Let's see how we can find that. There are a few approaches to find organizations, like Summer of Code with Google.com, GitHub, CNCF has some amazing projects. We'll talk more about that later. But Summer of Code with Google.com is a great website. Not just if you want to do Google Summer of Code. What is Google Summer of Code? How you apply? How you make a proposal? We'll create separate videos on that. Short videos later on. So first step you need to do is go to summerofcodewithgoogle.com, click on the organizations tab, and here you can either filter it out by categories, like all the cloud projects, Cloud Native Computing Foundation is here. So this, all these, some of these projects that we mentioned over here, CNCF, they also take part in Google Summer of Code. You can see CNCF takes part in Google Summer of Code. Databases, all the Ceph and MariaDB and whatever. But if this is not enough for you, you can definitely, this is something that I love about this website. Let's say you want to contribute to Java, you want to find projects or organizations that use Java. Just write Java over here. Checkstyle, Java Pathfinder, JBoss, Libre Health. These are all the projects that use Java. Okay, Apache Software Foundation, cool. Let's say you want to code in Python. These are all the organizations that use Python. Python itself takes part in Google Summer of Code. How cool is that? Django, very popular, and all these other Ceph and yeah, so many projects, Zulip. So try that out according to your skill set filter. Let's say I write Java, or you can also write Golang or whatever. Then the next step, this is the first step. The next step is actually look at every single project. See which project you like. If you click on any project, click learn more and see projects. Here you will see the website and overview and stuff. Do not worry about these things like technologies and these things mentioned, because this is like collectively for all the projects, not just for one single project. Now what is the next step? The third step is click on the idea list. Once you click on the idea list, here you will find all the projects that are currently active in the community. So let's say we take some other organization. Let's say something that many people might be doing. Let's say Python is something everyone does. Let's say I'm talking about, let's say, Chromium as well. Chromium takes part in Google Summer of Code. Let's say Cloud CV, learn more and see projects. Click on view idea list. Don't worry about all these things. You can also join the mailing list, which we'll talk more about later. But yeah, so here you can see these are all the projects, like Angular is being used in this project, and this is like the GitHub repository and everything, tasks and everything. And this is another project. This is another project, monitoring setup for the admin section or something. Python, Django is required, Docker is required. So skill level mentioned and everything mentioned, and the link of the mentor and everyone, something like that, like the code repository, like the project title, the description, the deliverables, like what are you required to do during the Google Summer of Code period, your mentors, which we'll talk more about later, and your skill level and stuff. Even if you don't want to do Google Summer of Code, this is a great way to find projects and stuff. What is the next step? Next step is like go to the GitHub repository. So like the GitHub repository of the organization, something like this. Then the next step is actually starting with the project. So now you have found the project. Next thing is actually, first thing you need to do is use the project. Okay, in order to get started with the project, first use the project. So use it and try to set it up on your local system, run the test cases on your local system, build the project on your local system. Now you might face some issues, you might face some doubts, you may have some doubts. How do we resolve those doubts? Join the mailing list. This is a link of the mailing list. You can also find it in the idea list, like the mailing list link over here, and the Gitter channel and whatever. Gitter channel is also here for like instant communication. You might find it over here in like some readme file as well. Over here you can find chat on Gitter. Okay, so what is mailing list and what is like these channels and stuff? So whenever you get stuck at such projects, you will definitely require some help, and who is better at helping you than the people who maintain this project, right? So check out the mailing list, join their group channel. Whenever you get stuck, ask your questions in the public channel. We will do a separate session on how to ask good questions. But most definitely, if you get anywhere stuck, ask your questions in public. Don't DM anyone, and ask good questions. Don't just send a hi. Send at least enough context, like I tried this is what I'm trying to achieve, and I'm a newcomer in this project. I would really love to contribute, and this is what I tried, this is what I'm trying to achieve, this is what error I'm getting. Can you please help me or point me to some resources? Most of the time they'll be pointing you some resources, and you will be diving deep into it. Most of your time is going to be spent in reading code than writing code, and it's not going to happen overnight. Contributions are going to take like maybe months and months, and that is totally fine. Learn, trust the process, give it time, and once it happens, you will be then making some really nice contributions. Okay, so it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, and try learning on the go. So even if you know a few like 30 to 40% of the tech stack, and all the other things like, it's using, let's say Prometheus, Grafana or whatever. Learn on the go, learn while contributing. All right. Now, since you have used the project and stuff, next thing is click on the issues tab and click on good first issues. Good first issues are basically issues that are like really like, so changing the documentation, some template stuff and metadata. They're like easy to get started issues. Start solving these issues. Click on this. If it's not already assigned, if it's assigned to someone, maybe they'll be working on it. If there has not been much progress, then you can just text them, like not like DM, but actually tag them over here, like, hey, yeah, since like this person has tagged, like, is anyone working on this issue? So you can tag that person. You can also check out, share about it in the mailing list and channel, like, hey, I'm interested in contributing to this. Are you still working on it? If no one is assigned, you can ask someone to assign you, and you can also have all the conversations in public over here, like, hey, I'm trying to reproduce this issue or whatever. How can I get started with it? So that's how you actually communicate and get started. Start with these easy issues. You can start with like some test cases. Test cases are easy to get started with. You can start with like documentation, improving the documentation, writing some examples and all these things. So there are two approaches to selecting organizations that we already discussing, that first you learn the skills, then you select the organization, or first you select the organization, then you learn the skills being used in that organization. Both of these things go simultaneously. Like, you definitely would you would be learning a lot of things, and as I said, most of your time will be spent in reading code than writing code. And after that, you keep on contributing. Your complex issues will grow and grow, and then like you will start contributing to more complex issues. That's how you become a contributor. So check out all these amazing organizations and see which one you like. That's pretty much about it. And coding is not the only way to contribute. You can definitely contribute in terms of like helping someone else contribute, enhancing the contributor experience, writing documentation, reviewing someone else's code, opening up new issues that you may have found, like, okay, there's a bug in this particular project. You can open up an issue for that. If you want to learn about how to use Git and GitHub, we have an entirely amazing course on that. Check out the playlist section. There's a tutorial, and I'll also link it in the description below. The next way to find projects is you can go to the Explore tab of GitHub. So basically, go to the Explore tab. I can go to my Explore tab, should be somewhere over here, Explore tab. Okay, so you can click on topics or whatever. Let's say I want projects related to JavaScript. Okay, so now these are all the projects that are related to JavaScript. So click on any one of these projects and do the same thing that I just mentioned for the previous projects as well. Starting with a project and getting started, joining the mailing list, asking questions, setting up project, and so on and so forth. Next is CNCF, in case you're interested in like DevOps related projects. So you can check out some amazing open source projects by the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So I've contributed to like a few of these, and I use a lot of these as well in in my work and stuff. So there's some amazing projects, and CNCF also has an amazing repository for mentoring sections. So you can check out CNCF mentoring. We'll do a separate session on this, CNCF / mentoring, on like some mentoring programs. But this is basically like the Linux Foundation mentorship program. It's like it was previously known as Community Bridge. So people, fall one is currently in progress. You can see the term, it's September, and August 12, mentorships are available, and that's the applications are opening August 13 till August 20th, and then there's everything happening over here, 3-month working period, and you can find the project ideas over here basically. Cool. So we will make a detailed video on this later on, but we'll make a separate video on like Google Summer of Code, all the other so many 20+ open source programs you can apply to. We'll make a video on that. These are just like GitHub and the mailing list and the Twitter and all the Slack channels and everything, YouTube and whatever. Everything is mentioned for every project. Check out this landscape, check out each and every project, see which one you like, then start contributing. It will be overwhelming at first, but don't worry, it will take time, and I'm here to help you. We are here to help you. These projects, the open source communities of these projects are there to help you. Kubernetes, it's one of the amazing and most welcoming community for beginners. Everyone is here to help you. Only thing we need from you is just the will to learn, have an open mind, and just work a little hard, and ask questions, ask good questions, and everything will fall into place. Again, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description. If there's any video you want me to create for open source, so there are two things I want you to do right now. First, check out the link for Teleport in the description below. Really great open source project. If you're into DevOps and related stuff, please check it out. Amazing. And The second thing is, if there's any particular video you want me to create, we'll be doing that. We'll also be doing some hands-on, workshops on some really amazing these cloud native projects as well. Like we'll also do one on teleport and everything. We'll do a complete DevOps bootcamp, like we're doing the DSA bootcamp. Make sure you subscribe and check out the links in the description, and share it with your friends, and comment in the video, like the comment section. I want you to comment which open source video would you like to see. Okay, please comment that and I will make it. Thanks a lot for watching. Check out the links in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.